hope I can help you more in a little bit.
More than a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
First part of the Fire and Rescue Department's budget, as you see, is below what we asked for last year. Not a lot,
That's just the first page.
but every little bit helps. Yeah. And so forth. I think part of it too, as you well know, that when I put my budget in, submitted my budget to the boss and to finance, we had in mind of the opening of the new Station 2, and we put the staffing, 24-hour staffing there. Since then, as you well know, we've developed a 5-year plan, which we presented to the board last week, which kind of delays that a little bit now. And certainly, we're hoping for grant money that will come in as well. So that was, we were able to take that out of our request, which, as you see, puts us back down to what the original last year's budget was. I'll answer any questions about that part before moving on, if you have any.
Anybody have anything for Chief?
Just a little delay, right? Just a little delay.
A little delay, to use your quote. Well, certainly we're hoping it's all going to work out as well. So. The next part is the volunteer fire and rescue budget. That is up a very little bit. Let's see here. Part of that is because of a very small increase in insurance rates and our contingency. I think we can certainly handle that portion of it as well. But I'd like to add in here too, if you look at 5629, it's an $80,000 request. That's actually money coming in from the state, and while it's included in as a 3.44% increase, it's actually a wash, if you will. So it's a little bit deceiving when you see that the overall increase right there.
Designated for a certain.
Not really for a certain thing. It could be any items. For an example, anything that years ago, 20 years ago, when I first came here, we used to take that money and just divide it up amongst all the stations in the county. Since then, we developed a policy that says now we just put it back into the fire and rescue department. As an example, some of that money has gone before the new training center, the renovations of the new training center, and so forth, equipment and the training aids and so forth. And we've been lucky enough, knock on wood, to carry over some that we hope will use that funds to buy purchase the burn building and so forth out there, so that won't be an expenditure necessarily that will come from the budget.
Can you explain a little bit why we need the burn building?
Part of the Fire Academy, as developed by Department of Fire Programs, the state, includes 2 to 3 actual fires before you can test to be a firefighter 1 or firefighter 2 or so forth. The reason that we wanted something local is because in our region right now, everybody's burn building is deteriorating.
It burned up?
Well, no, but it heat cracks it, it deteriorates it, and so forth. But the other localities have gotten to a point that they're putting a lot of money into it to refurb them so that they can use them themselves. So when we want to go to Shenandoah County as an example, they charge us to use that facility. So one of the things we want to do with two objectives. One is have our own, so we don't have to pay for to go to somebody else's, and 2, It'll keep our people from having to go to and sending resources to Shenandoah or to Frederick, or we've even gone as far when their burned buildings were out of service, we've even had to go to like Loudon and so forth. So this will give us something locally to utilize and meet that state objective.
Plus your resources, if there's a crisis, are available. You can shut the burned building down and they can respond.
Absolutely.
If they're down in Shenandoah County or somewhere else, you've lost those resources. Plus you're paying travel and...
That's right. Wear and tear on apparatus, because we have to supply the apparatus and so forth,
So
for the testing.
when they go, explain to me a little bit about how that works, though. They go to this burned building. Is that a one-time thing, or to get their certification, or what? No?
No, it's each class, the state requires up to 3 burns.
3 burns. Oh, you gotta burn 3 times.
Well, but we do it more than 3 times, because if we got them out there for a day, we'll do 2 or 3 or 4 burns, depending on how many people in the class.
So you can
Get multiple burns, and they're gaining experience. It's not quite the same thing as if you went into a real house or so forth, but they get the smoke and the heat and the zero visibility, so forth, and dragging hose lines and so forth. So it's really the next best thing.
It's a confidence builder.
Absolutely, it is. Yes.
If you don't get burned.
If you don't get burned.
Well, we try really hard not to injure our people.
I hope so. All right,
Well,
Chief.
will that take up the place of any other far as training that you've done at other locations? Will all your training be done at that site? Like I used to see a fire enforcement or a vehicle being for training purposes. So that would up there would take the place of any others. Or will you still do automotive training?
For most of it, but we've gone. I'm glad you brought up automotive, because we have gone in regionally with Shenandoah and Frederick, and we've got an automotive prop, if you will. It's propane gas fired, and we can, because we went in regionally with them, we can get it anytime we want to and bring it to our facility, or we do more burning at this facility than taking it to individual stations, because we try to do it, countywide.
Okay.
So while it won't replace it, it comes real close.
Okay. Okay, that's all.
It's a scheduling nightmare sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah, you'll
second.
still see. I hate to say it, but you'll still see wreck cars in some of the stations now too, where they're doing extrication work and stuff individually as a station versus, our county class.
Cost recovery.
Cost recovery is cost recovery is a little bit hard to explain, because we're not held, knock on wood, we're not held quite to the amount, if you will, as we are in the fire and rescue budget and the other, because a lot of things during cost recovery we add to the budget and pay out of the budget during the year. For example, this year, we're paying for I think we're paying for 2 fire trucks. We got truck 10 we're still paying on, and engine 6 that we're paying on. I've got a crew up in Ohio right now inspecting a new ambulance for North Warren, and so that, while it wasn't included in this budget, it did come through the board, because we're getting a 50/50 grant on that ambulance.
A brand new.
Yes. And what we're going to do, that's going to go to number 10. The main reason is number 10's ambulance has 75,000 miles on it. What ends up happening here, let me explain this, is they got more mileage on their ambulance than Front Royal does, even though Front Royal runs more calls, but they catch the second ALS call countywide. So Front Royal goes to North Royal Avenue on an ALS call. The next ALS call comes in at the nursing home on Buck Mountain Road, and Company 10 gets that. So while they're in great shape, because we have a really good maintenance program, because we can get many more years out of that same piece at a slower station. We're putting the new piece at station 10. Then we're gonna send it back to the factory and have it kind of, not really a full refurb, if you will, but it's in such good shape, you know, taking out the little dents and so forth, and that piece will go to Company 5, probably, I want to say in the next 30 days or so. Shingle Shores, I'm sorry.
Okay. Anybody have anything for the chief? Got a chance to shoot away, shoot.
Ooh.
Do you have in here the costs to clean up the dump? If you'll remember, that was it was over by the Park and Recreation.
That's Parks and Rec, that's not.
He didn't have anything to do
Oh,
with
it didn't
that.
have anything to do with that.
No,
Yeah, I thought you all burned it.
I think the only person in fire and rescue was involved in it at all was the fire marshal. And
He inspected it and
yeah,
certified
he
the
was
file.
just doing inspections and clearing it to be burned, so there was no cost.
The cost recovery's working pretty well. That's just where we bill the insurance and it comes back.
Yes. Let me give you a couple examples that we're pretty proud of, and I'm gonna call it state-of-the-art equipment, but pretty much that's what we're able to do, and that's what we do with this money as well. It goes back into the system. We in the last year, we replaced all of the Life Pack, well, 15, you know, with the best equipment on it that just about that you can get through this program. We went to a lease purchase, you know, so we could all do it all. It takes multiple years. It's a 5-year lease at a little over 100,000. But every ambulance in the county now is standard with that piece of equipment on it.
Is the contractor that's doing this now working out that, I mean, we had some issues with the cost recovery in some years past, but I mean, is it, people get a bill and, or they get billed for an ambulance, I'm like, I have insurance, why am I doing this for?
I'll be honest with you, you know, I'm in the fire and rescue department, I'm probably the last one to get the complaint because they go through our cost recovery person,
Right, oh, yeah, we
Rick
have-
Farrell,
yeah,
and he does an
he's doing a
excellent
good
job,
job.
absolutely. And so rarely do I ever get, you know, a concern. I
It's
get
a different contractor than we had a few years ago, isn't it? And this one out of
Yes.
North Carolina, yeah.
Yes, but we've had these people for a couple of years now, and
Is this the
It was
group
a-
out of North Carolina?
well, they're from southeast Virginia or North Carolina.
Yeah,
I
he's
think,
close,
yeah.
yeah.
Chiefs meeting, is it still on for Saturday?
Yes, well, the 23rd,
23rd. Did you make a location yet?
not yet. We're trying to find a place to feed you.
Okay, to me, you of all people.
Use.
Use.
We'll find a place to feed you. I'll be
Anybody have
glad to
anything?
answer any questions.
You're having a chiefs meeting, telling all the fire chiefs?
Yes, and we're gonna feed them.
You're overdue. And you're fine.
Yeah, well,
And if nothing, chief, thank you for your time,
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
thank y'all.
Are we making good time?
We're trying to hold to the time, but I'm kind of, not really off, just picked up a little bit.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty good already.
Mr. Whitten,
Actually,
Okay.
yes.
okay, it's all yours.
Okay. So basically, we have made a job offer for the assistant county attorney. Jody made a call yesterday. We haven't heard back from the lady yet, but we're excited about that. But basically, that position is in there for the whole year, and the starting salary, which we haven't come to terms yet, but we put in the budget, is a starting salary of $60,215. And we have the 2.5% increase for it was effective January 1st for the county attorney and paralegal. And all of our other categories stayed the same or according to the formulas that we were given. We had already budgeted for travel for 2 attorneys and for the dues and memberships for 2 attorneys and computer equipment, so we shouldn't have to change any of those items for having 2 attorneys in the office.
So the assistant will be a full-time.
That's correct. And we're taking on social services. So I believe social services will actually help pay for part of the assistant's salary.
Because they're paying quite much now.
And our outside counsel will be training the assistant county attorney for around 6 months. She already has, if she accepts the job, she already has 4 years of prosecuting experience and 2 years experience as a magistrate, so she should be able to pick it up pretty
So
quickly.
the social services attorney will be training our new part-time? He's been there a long time.
He's been there since 98 or 99, Neil Knudsen. So I've never done social services. I didn't do it in Richmond, and I've never done it since I've been here. Neil's always done it. And so basically,
So they're saving some there too, because Neil gets a lot.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of stuff, just, court appearances and things like
Yeah,
that.
we may have to remove kids.
Yeah.
in the beginning,
That's a good deal.
a lot of the normal appearances, like returns, she'll be able to handle. And it'll just be the more complex cases and appeals that he'll handle for the time being. And then eventually he'll transition everything over to our office. And once he feels comfortable, because he doesn't want to throw someone into JNDR court that's not ready, because every case there is very serious.
Those cases can get very complex.
And a lot of the defense attorneys there are very quick on their feet and know the evidence laws very well, so you need someone who's comfortable in that environment. So,
Knows the child services.
You sit on the board, don't you, for social services?
I used to back when we had a board, but we have an advisory now. Thank goodness. That was a good change.
so the other items that aren't in my budget, I just wanted to highlight. This past year, we did collect $13,200 in attorney fees for doing debt collection. Basically, once we filed a warrant in debt, we do collect a 20% attorney fee. And so if someone pays, we collected $300,000 this year.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, she's done a really good job, and that's something that doesn't show on my budget, income, but we did collect $13,000 in attorney fees. And also, we did bill the EDA a little over $10,000 this year. The last 3 months of 2018 were almost 65% of that. So the last 3 months were busier than normal, so that's the normal amount. But just those 2 items to kind of highlight the other income that is coming into our budget.
And then we would add the DSS on top.
And then you'd add the DSS in there as well.
Anybody have anything for me? God, thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
I heard him back from Mike, he was waiting on prescription.
He's in the-
so-
Oh, he's just right
there, I just seen him.
Oh, was it? David's sitting out there.
He's just right there.
He went up to the murder killer this morning. so-
Uh-oh.
He's-
Here, probably can breathe on him.
He can stand at the
He doesn't have to come in.
He can stand at
You
the
need
door.
a mask?
Boy, you're not
Need
feeling
a
good,
mask.
Mike?
Mask? Are you
I'll stay
sick?
back, I'm not shaking hands.
You're not?
No. I don't have the flu.
Okay,
Strep.
all right. You can come in then.
Yeah. So, not feeling 100%, but made it.
You want me to handle them and you jump in, or
I
you-
can-
how
it's
you
up to you.
feel?
I mean, I can talk.
Okay.
I mean, I just,
I'll leave it
I
up
don't
to
want to be
you.
rude. I'm getting old and falling apart.
You
I've took care of the
Airport?
airport in
Okay.
Channel Farm, so next one is streets and highways, Mike.
You go to 19? You going to,
Going to 19.
Oh, we're going
Yeah,
back
we
to
switched
19.
with Brandy.
okay, streets and highways?
Yeah,
Yeah.
streets and highways.
All right, that one's really easy.
Oh, really?
0%, no change.
Third one back.
420.
How you doing with
street signs being stolen and stuff that come up here? I know at one time it was a big problem. but-
Not a huge problem
as big a
anymore.
problem.
Once in a while, we'll get a wild weekend.
Yeah.
Leon Refuge, which one are you in?
Third one back, after airport, Channel Farms.
Refuge?
Gold.
No, streets and highways.
I think the one near Linda's house has been stolen for a while. That was a favorite Wonderland up there for a long
Is
time.
it sanitation?
Wonderland.
And ours was Target, Katie Lane.
Katie
Yeah.
Lane, yeah.
Yeah, we've got some ones that are more special than others.
I think they're collected during those college.
They pulled the whole
treasure hunts.
host up at
Yeah.
Wonderland.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying to work on some of the older ones that are, non-reflective. Some of the older ones don't have the reflectivity, so we've been trying to, move towards some of those in those areas. Public Works guys have been
One thing about this budget, we, in the last couple of years since we set up the Public Works Department, Public Works staff is actually taking care of these signs, installation, and maintenance, something now we've taken that off of Parks and Rec.
You could get your sign from the spell it right.
Right, if you could. You don't have any questions on that one?
No, in fact, I have to compliment because they're done in a timely manner. It's not where you're waiting months and months to get a sign, but they're up pretty quick when they disappear.
Next
It's
one's
a little
refuse.
easier now.
Refuse collection, 42030.
42030. For administrative adjustments, I mean, it's, looks like we're going down there as well. But, the two real concerns that we do have to keep an eye on is the recycling expenses and compactor services, as we do have CPI adjustments each year. So on all those budgets, we have contractual adjustments, and then as a recycle, as you do collect more, I mean, you do more recycling, you have more expense as well.
How many years do we have left with our, with Page County?
Page County, well, we have, I just looked at it the other day. I told Bob he would be retired before we did.
It's 2025.
It's, we renewed it in '08, and that was 15 years, and then 2 additional 5 years after that. So, the first one, we let 33. I mean, if everything goes well contractually. So I could even be retired maybe.
A wore out one.
Bob's wearing me out. He's working me too hard.
Thank you.
But anyway, not a whole lot of change there.
Yeah.
Salaries actually down here. And some of that's due to turnover. We lost a couple of our older fellas, they're all part-time on that budget.
New hires are making lesser salaries.
Yeah, so some slight adjustment there. Any other questions there?
42035. We're in the same order. Yes, we do.
35 is refuse collection transfer station, so that's basically our convenience site at the transfer station in Bentonville. And we have a 3.18% adjustment, and that's basically going to be all for salary increase, just a salary adjustment.
For the part-time help?
Yeah, part-time up there.
We'll go back to it.
And that's just going to come up to the 2.5% that we just gave them. We have, but we do have the CPI adjustments each year there as well. So,
How are we doing on the recycling stuff? You know,
you mean, are we doing as far as collecting it or getting rid of it?
Yeah, getting rid of it.
Well, right now, we are getting rid of it. I do worry, I've talked to Bob about that recently, because the China market really hurt us, when they shut down. Most of our neighbors, like plastics, have went back to only accepting number 1 and number 2. And that's what,
Explain
so
what
scrap,
1 and 2 are.
your normal milk bottle and pop bottle stuff.
That's all?
And,
That's all you can
Detergent
take?
bottles, things
Yes,
like that.
so,
Households.
we still collect 1 to 7 of them, but we're now hauling materials to Manassas.
Will they take detergent bottles?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not plastic tubs.
Right, no bulky crates, stuff like that.
Just a small
If
household
you
stuff.
contamination can affect your rebate as well. You know, a lot of places, if you contaminate the lids.
You know, they'll take like the little throwaway water bottles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see the difference in those and little plastic tubs that cookies come in.
Well,
But
the
they don't do it.
end users do.
They do.
That's what
I
we're
mean,
against.
it's that clear plastic.
But like Mike said, where we would haul that stuff to Winchester before, we're having to haul it to Manassas now. So what's that do to your hauling cost?
And it hasn't affected it greatly yet, but the more we have to go that way, we've had mixed paper where they were overloaded in Winchester and had to take paper that way because they didn't have any room in Winchester for it.
And how about cardboard? What is that?
Still going through Southern Scrap at this time. You know,
And how about metal?
We have, all the metal in the sites is going to Winchester Scrap and Bentonville. We don't use Zuckerman. We go to Recycle Management and Lou Ray from them.
Everywhere they go.
Yeah.
We send any of the plastic to trucks?
No. We take it all to Southern Scrap.
No, they might in turn
Manassas.
sell it
Okay,
to
'cause
Trex,
they
but
used-
they
when I-
use recycled
when I was
stuff.
working,
Yeah.
Trex was contacting us wanting any of our plastic. You know, so I don't know
So
whether
where
that would
is
be something to look
Trex?
into, in Kernstown.
Winchester.
Yeah. And I think they're really close to St. Clair we use, so I think they've got
It might,
on what they want as well. We're going to have to start looking at the whole solid waste plan, and recycling is a part of the plan. Reducing our waste. Recycling is not the answer to everything. We need to reduce what we use as well, and we need to start educating people to use other than plastic bags. And a long time ago, people used to can and reuse their cans, and we just buy cans and throw them.
Grocery stores still take back plastic bags, don't they?
Mhm.
Some do,
Some
yeah.
Walmart does.
Yeah. But the market's going away. I've heard mention of India, and their market, if it would close, that could cause more problems. So it's definitely a concern. Any other questions on 35?
Are most of the major repairs completed up there, the floor, the kitchen?
Floor is done. This year we're hoping to we put the pavement rehab on hold because we had to cut out part of the asphalt in front of the tipping floor. So that's the next step. Hopefully we'll get that done this year.
But the big expense is pretty much over with, is that fair statement?
As far as the rehab up there.
Yeah.
Tipping floor.
I mean,
But
we have the on the 4240 budget, we do have money in this budget for that pavement rehab. I think
we
that's-
did have money in it.
Oh, we did. I think I did have money. I asked for it. It's not there.
and Mike, are you burning the waste oil?
No, we have it. Well, we're not getting paid in it. We're not paying anything right now, but we were getting paid for it. But we don't really have a whole lot.
A waste oil burner?
We're not heating a whole lot of space up there right now. We have a little, scale house, and we don't have any heat in that little garage shop over. There's not a whole lot to it.
The square footage of all the buildings combined, up there's probably not as big as this room of what we would have to.
Yeah. But we have made money in the past, but that's all market driven as well. Yeah.
But at least we've got a vendor that'll come and take it off our hands.
And that's
They'll
We don't
come
that's a
to-
blessing.
Yeah, and we don't have to pay to get rid of it.
That's a
Some people
blessing.
are burning that in there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People-
And it goes up and down. I mean, the market fluctuates. It's, depends on the whole market. So 4240
Yeah.
next. And that's where I don't have any money for my asphalt now, but 0.42% increase there. I think the largest increase, machinery and equipment, $6,148. That's our lease payment we own our loader that we have where we get our trade in. That's the adjustment and the cost went slightly up on the new machine. Other adjustments there, it looks like primarily are just in the either increase or decrease with employment changes, and then it looks like medical went up slightly. We had Bob St. Myers retire, and Brian Marshall's going to his spot, hire a new operator, so the operator salary went down slightly. Scale house went up a little bit. At the end of the day, not a lot of change there. And I still have Well, our tonnage has really increased over the last few years. I think I'll be pushing to make budget there, but
People are
Mr. Stanley
jumping
thinks
out.
I can do it.
People bring more stuff.
Well, it's just like the disposal, just like the compactor sites. I mean, we've got an annual increase with our Republic budget, an annual increase with the tipping cost of Page County, but we're holding that flat, hoping that that tonnage don't continue to increase like it's been doing the last 6 months.
And we're still doing test wells all around on that whole site.
Yeah.
And do we have, are there barriers from where we used to dump? I mean, are there, I mean, well.
Physical barriers or,
Uh-huh,
no,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
every year we pretty well know what the limits of contamination are based on those test wells.
Yeah.
And that's a wild card. You really don't know from one year to the next what DEQ is going to come along and say, you know, we need 2 more or 3 more or 6 more test wells here.
See if contaminants
Yeah.
are getting
Yeah.
further away
Exactly,
from the site.
exactly.
We're still, we're still exploring. Some of the problems we have, I think, are due to, well, all the rain we receive, but also our landfill was never capped the way it should be. I think if we had enough material to cap it better, and get it moving, it would help as well. But we're in constant communications. Him monitoring well 9, we're watching that. We've had increases there. We have to monitor that and make sure there's no migration or additional migration. I do anticipate doing more work on the front of the landfill this year in regards to the wells. We'll probably have to have more engineering services, expand our water treatment, and anytime you have migration, you have to continue. I mean, it's not going to go away anytime in the near future. We'll have to continue to explore and try to do the best we can to keep it in our boundary, and hopefully we'll continue to be able to do so. And that's why I need your help to keep some money in the budget.
Along those same lines, the engineering budget is, we're keeping it flat. And, DEQ comes along and says you need 3 more wells, you need 6 more wells, and you let those associated engineering costs as well. So you just don't know from year to year.
Have we had much mulch picked up from people?
We have a lot of stuff to grind with all the storms we've had, but we have more to get rid of probably than we've gotten rid of, I can tell you that.
And that's going to increase after today. 'Cause
We'll
we
have a
got
major
trees and
grind
brush
coming.
coming down everywhere
Yeah.
on the mountains.
We'll be grinding in the next couple of months.
Do people come and get it?
I mean, we have some come and get it, but it's hit and miss. I mean, we have a few people who come and get it, but
Because it's free, if somebody wants.
well,
to-
we charge for
You
it.
charge for it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we charge.
Okay.
Yeah. $15.
Not a bad deal.
$15.
Cubic yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 years ago, I picked up 3 truckloads.
Yeah.
You were busy.
It had tomatoes and
You
all
had to make it
sorts of
so
stuff.
it's
growing
growing
up.
in your
All
mulch.
right.
Yeah.
Lake Front Roll,
Front row.
5450.
5450. All right, so we do have an increase in the budget, a requested increase there. The advisory board is asked to increase the lot fee from the 300 per lot. We want to add 0.0 or 5 cents per 100 of improvement. And so that'll increase a little bit. I mean, we did have a couple lots that were combined, so our actual lot count went down. At the end of the day, 12.30% increase, and I think in the long run, everybody's going to be happy. The majority of it is going into, as far as the difference, into internal projects, which, since we with the chair, that's what she had mentioned, just to show where that additional funding was, and then if they have any changes, they're currently discussing the POA, becoming more of the advisory board in the near future, as our advisory board is actually amongst the POA members now.
So you all all your advisory board members, I mean, is it filled? Do you have?
Advisory board. Well, right now, our advisory board, all of them are part of the POA. Yeah. So, and, you know, they're communicating with Mr. Whitten right now, doing some contract reviews and question and answer sessions.
At the end of the day, I think their desire is to enter into a similar agreement like we have with Shadow Farms and Linden Heights. Do away with the advisory board, and we would just communicate directly with the PLA. I think we'll see that happen over the next 6 months, if not sooner.
They still charging dues in POA?
They are. Well, they haven't recently. They're going to set a fee that's just enough to handle what they need for their attorney fees, for reviewing the contracts
Still have the
and
dam
insurance.
too?
They do.
And the
At this
dam?
point.
At this point. So the goal will be, to bring that before the board, and hopefully we would take over the maintenance of that area. Right now, we only mow the common area. We don't mow the dam. They've been doing that. Of course, there will be some paperwork change and, process with the farms, but in the long run, they're hoping that we will actually maintain and oversee the dam like we do in Shadow Farms.
And we've been using the same contractor they used for snow removal.
Yeah, Mr.
Steve
Henry, yeah.
And the reason why they're charging the POA fees for another year is, again, it's going to take some time to work through the changeover and the reassignment of maintenance duties of the dam to us.
So if once they do that,
Then
the
they'll-
residents will only get one bill.
Right.
That's what they're
And
talking
then
about.
you would do what you do with Shannon Farms as far as take a portion of the sanitary district and get back to the common areas. What about the bridge? Is that?
That's done. In fact, I'm going to look at it with Mr. Carter this afternoon.
It's
So
all
the project, for all intents and purposes, is done. They got all
paid
these.
for?
Is it all paid for?
We haven't got the final.
We don't have the final cost from VDOT. They're administering the project, but VDOT has indicated to us that it had been constructed within the estimate and the funding that we had provided, our share. 25% county and 25% lakefront roads.
Is there any resolution to those criminal charges?
With,
We have no idea about that.
That's in court.
It's in court.
yeah.
Well, I raised it, yes, sir.
Right.
Let Andre handle that.
Andre?
Yeah, I can't help you on that one, sir.
Anybody have
But for
anything
most-
else on, if not, Linden Heights is next.
Linden Heights, we had lot consolidation there as well, and the operations budgets went down slightly, and that's because they've actually, HOA has requested contract services for their insurance, which is a minor amount, but it's went up slightly to $2,663. And basically, when they started, they had some funding left over. They didn't ask for anything for their liability insurance or their mailers they sent, et cetera. So they requested some funding there. But other than that, there's very little change in the budget. I don't think there's anything significant.
They kept their lot tax at $350.
There's no change.
Same issue.
We used the 85% collection rate. So really, very limited change other than them asking for some contractual service funding.
Anybody have any questions or comments? If
Bob-
not,
Bob, I know they, at some point, they have, you got that one
Blue
little.
Valley Road will apply to VDOT for revenue sharing this fall.
And they got some money set aside that can go towards that?
Yeah, they had provided us with a check for $10,000, which we have in special project funds, and they'd indicated at that time when we took over, they had about that much more, approximately 10,000. They wanted to retain the POA accounts that they could turn over to us to cover their share.
Yeah, we had some fund balance.
Yeah.
So we still have, I think, what the public works budget itself.
We got Wildcat.
and Linden Heights.
All right.
That was Linden Heights we were on. Y'all through with that?
And then,
Yeah.
I don't know, you got my email, and but the
Wildcat.
Wildcat's missing.
Nothing yet.
Yeah, it's missing there at the bottom.
Go to the second page.
Second page.
Go to the second page.
There's
Whole lot more
zero
detail
change
there.
It got cut off there on that fund.
On Wildcat?
Yeah, go to the second
I
page.
didn't really
Give
look
you-
at that one
okay.
because I knew it was a zero change, so this morning. But zero change, they want to keep theirs same place. They had recently adopted the $400 for developed and $155 developed lot. So zero change since that happened.
This is-
Same
this
budgets.
is a new
Yeah,
one.
Yeah,
this is a new one.
And you're getting 90% collection there,
Yeah.
which is great. That's good.
This is actually the first full year budget for them.
Yeah, this is the first one.
Osprey,
Osprey.
we're
We
waiting.
We're advertising for advisory board members. Once the board appoints those, then we'll have a kind of a initial meeting to try to make a recommendation on the budget tax rate. We'll hopefully be able to incorporate the budget and the tax rate with our normal budget advertisement. And then, so the bills will go out June 5th, just like everyone else.
Smart, you know.
The last one, if y'all have no questions on Osprey, is actually Public Works, and I intentionally asked Mike to skip over that. Go back to the third page, third
section.
budget, third section, under 19. That's the actual Public Works. We didn't want you to fall out of your chair before we got through the bulk and stuff.
Is it before that?
It's before refuse.
Public Works. I think that'd be
Yeah.
what it was.
4100.
31.87% increase.
That's what I picked up.
And that,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, there's been, well, there's, a lot of it is salary. We had a part-year position with maintenance to full year, and then one of the positions is actually full-time, most recent, and that person works in Shenandoah Farms the majority of the time.
I had
So-
mentioned that earlier during my show
You
on
did,
farms.
okay,
but-
so like
So
one,
you get to bill
pretty much
Shenandoah
that.
Yes.
Farms.
So I bill him for that, I mean, it's actually my employee under Public Works, but I bill the farms. So the benefit of that is, as we continue to get more of these, if we need someone outside of the farms, we can take that person, like if someone gets sick and they can't play farm role, we can actually move that person for a day. Before, with the Shenandoah Farms people, they're specific to their budget. We can't take them out of the Shenandoah Farms Sanitary District. We can't use their equipment either, because they own that equipment. So basically, one of these people, pretty much their whole salary will be recovered through the Shenandoah Farms Sanitary District. The other will be hour for hour, and I don't have my total right now, but like this month, I probably got $15,000 worth of personnel expenditures that I'll be billing amongst the sanitary districts. So I don't know if you have a revenue for the year yet, but
That budget amount is increased from zero to propose, $350,000 in the course of a matter of 2 to 3 years. But 75% of it is being charged back,
So
manpower, benefits, and equipment back to the sanitary districts and any other county project where we might be having to do.
and we started, my salary wasn't in there. I was under refuse, so my salary got moved.
you got moved from refuge, that's a
Refuse.
step up, buddy.
Hey,
I thought you were donating your time.
yeah, I donate you some time every once in a while. No, that moved, and then we had zero equipment or vehicles, trucks, tractors, nothing. So, to do the work, we've had to start to acquire some equipment, so, internally, financing, you can't have 3 men in one truck. You have to have enough vehicles to go out and plow the snow this morning or the ice off the roads. And we have to have a tractor to be able to grade the roads. So a lot of these expenses are recovered or recouped at the end of the month, and we bill them hour for hour.
So when you transfer personnel from one sanitary district to another, then you have to do the paperwork where the billing has to
I
follow,
bill-
have to do.
I have a day, I spend a lot of time doing billing. All of the sanitary districts I bill based on Public Works personnel.
I see.
So, and then we have a Public Works revenue account, so once those, the check is cut, it should usually cut one check, and it will tell me, I've got to the point now, I create invoice numbers for Ivy, and it'll tell me, Shenandoah Farms, Heights, like Farm Oil, all that money will go back into the public works revenue again.
You got
It's
guys
offset.
out there today spreading salt.
No salt, they're dealing with trees falling.
Trees falling.
Yeah,
Cut-
up there,
cut
yeah,
trees
cut
up.
trees up,
Fell over town.
limbs, yeah.
I would just say this while we're talking, two things. I know it's a new department, but as we bring on more and more of these sanitary districts, and if the sanitary district asks the county to maintain the roads, and then they're spread out all over. You know, Osprey, for example, is out beyond the airport, out off 619, you know, Linden Heights is up on Friesland. They're scattered out. So we currently have 3 full-time worker bees, employees, that's out actually plowing the snow, grading the roads, or cutting the trees up.
Somewhere.
Somewhere. And remember, right now we have 3, almost 4 sanitary districts, once we take Osprey on. So as we continue to grow these sanitary districts, so therefore the public works crew needs to grow as well with the trucks, with the equipment. Again, we're able to charge back to the individual sanitary districts, but not to sound like Deanna a few minutes ago, sounds like she's in dire straits, but these public works guys have worked 3 straight weekends. They're in at 4 in the morning, sometimes they don't go home at 10 o'clock till night, because you gotta have someone there. If we're accepting responsibility to maintain these roads, we've gotta have somebody there in order to plow the snow or cut the trees out of the middle of the road.
It's the cost of doing business.
It's the cost of doing
He
business.
said 4, and those are the 4 just under public works, excluding the farms.
Yes,
And
yes.
all of our public works personnel
And the taxpayer
have been
doesn't
in
want
the
to hear us.
farms. We're all working in the farms.
Exactly, yes
Mike,
ma'am, and that's
And
why.
when you're billing back, you're doing total package. You're doing the hourly rate plus the benefit side.
Yes.
Not
Plus
just,
equipment.
plus equipment, yeah.
Right. Yeah, they pay through the benefits as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it's $1, his dollar might be
Dollar for
$12,
dollar.
but
Yeah,
with
it's
everything,
dollar
it might
for
be
dollar.
18. You know, just
But
Plus
as
an
you-
overhead charge for Mike and Bob's
Yeah.
time is an overhead piece.
like you say, Ms. Clavis, the taxpayer doesn't want to see growing government, but on the other side of that, the sanitary district taxpayers, they don't want to see their sanitary district fee or tax increase either. But they expect that tree to be cut at 3 o'clock in the morning, or the snow to be plowed so they can get out or in and go to work. So it's a tight, slippery slope sometimes to be able to meet the needs of the community, as you all well know. Archie, I think you mentioned something about Mike spending a lot of time on administrative costs, and he does spend a tremendous amount of time on developing timesheets and so forth to bill back to the sanitary district. So I did ask him to include a part-time administrative person in his budget this year to help assist with some of that stuff. I have some part-time administrative costs set up in the General Farms budget. I asked Mike to set some up too, so that we might be able to get someone in here, a few hours a week to try to help with some of those, with all his administrative time. So, didn't mean to interrupt Mike, but
I see Blue Mountain on here anywhere. Blue Mountain?
we don't maintain that one.
We've talked to them about it,
Yeah.
but I think at this point in time, they're still, they've got a lot of board members who've been on there for 20
Yeah.
plus years. And
I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Anything else from Mike? If not, thank you. Feel better.
Thank you.
Get well.
I wanted him to go through the sanitary district budgets before he got back to this.
I knew this. He's so good. All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Where are we?
Mike, I'll be out this second.